The Toronto Maple Leafs just sent a serious message as they crush the Tampa Bay Lightning in a game that was incredible. We saw Anthony Stolarz get a standing ovation, have an incredible game. We saw a bunch of players get goals on the boards, including Austin Matthews and many others. And most importantly, the Leafs bounce back after a pretty rough loss against the New York Rangers. And this is a win they needed in the Atlantic Division, a team that was ahead of them. They went out and they absolutely dominated the entire game. So welcome in, everybody. Hopefully you all enjoyed the new stream intro we have. We have our custom Leafs Digest song. Feel free to rewind if you want to rewatch that. But that is our new stream intro. So shout out to that. But Darius, what's up, everybody? JAM, Marshall, Jose. Hopefully that intro got you as hype as it got us, because that is makes me want to run through a wall after listening to that. What's up, Shane? What's up, Landtruck? Everybody is tuning in. Darius, what a game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't know what else to say. William Nylander had a phenomenal game. Just so many things to go over. What an intro. It's Darius is pumped. Darius is pumped.
Oh, I'm pumped. I'm waiting. I'm letting Nick do his
Hopefully
thing.
You enjoyed the intro. I think it's here to stay, and it gets me absolutely fired up. But welcome everybody. Darius, what a game, what a night, and they desperately needed it. And now they have an easier matchup tomorrow against the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah, it was pretty crucial for them to win this game. But everyone, welcome in. How about that new intro, like Nick mentioned? That's hype. That is hype. But what a game for the Leafs from the first puck drop to the end of the game. I mean, yes, we're fast forwarding here, but the third period, just gas. I can't remember the last time I saw that. Like, they just kept pushing. They were up 5-2. We saw what happened against LA last week. They kept pushing. Yes, Tampa is going to score. They have some really high end talent, but gas, foot on the gas the entire time. That's Craig Berube hockey. This was the first, to me, complete effort of the season. They've had really good games and they've had games that they've won, but this was the first complete effort because, Tampa is not what they used to be, but they're still a very good team. They got the same coach, but what a game. Stolarz too. I mean, stole the game. Honestly, yes, there were some great performances, and the goaltending on the other side wasn't great, but Stolarz, I mean, saved the game in many areas, and that one penalty kill was fantastic, came up huge. But he's the starter now, Nick. Like, you've been saying it since the summer. This guy's the starter. He's running away with it, and it's fantastic. I'm really excited, and great game for the Leafs. You chase the other team's goalie. They're on a back-to-back tomorrow night too. So Vasilevsky probably has to start for them again, and then the Leafs are heading into Columbus, which you should get that win in Columbus. So starting off this very busy week, because I didn't realize they play next Monday again too, on the right foot.
Yeah, and you can make an argument that was one of the best games you've seen from the Leafs in the past handful of not just games, months, but years for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like, that was an absolute complete game, and it was coming off of a brutal loss against the New York Rangers. As Blake Sim, what's up, Blake? I do remember. I am back. If you guys remember me from last year when Stolarz should be our number one starter. Nick is right about the goalie. I'm taking credit for that one. I called that from the moment the signing. Thank you so much for the donation, Blake Sim. I definitely remember you. Welcome back as Jose tunes in with the $10 Toronto Kick Butt team effort. I'll throw another super chat up for you guys. Yeah, I mean, it was quite frankly the best game I've seen in a very long time from the Toronto Maple Leafs. And again, the fact that it was coming off of a loss makes it even better for me, because Craig Berube obviously changing culture, everything like that. And I don't think they played necessarily terribly against the New York Rangers. Darius, again, we didn't have a post game after that where you were at the game. Yeah. Schedules didn't align. We'll be going live for almost every single game this season, so bear with us on that one. But they didn't play terribly. They had a couple of rough periods. They were in it the whole time, and they come back and they absolutely destroy the Tampa Bay Lightning, quite frankly. They outplayed them at every facet of the game. We saw some fights go on. And again, the big storyline coming in was patches came in for Ryan Reeves. And we're going to dive into the stats. We're going to dive into everybody who played well. And still a couple of, we'll still call out the players who didn't play well a little bit as well. Gotta be fair here. But thank you again, Blake, Sim, and Jose. But what a game. I haven't been this fired up about a win in a very long time. And it's a good day to debut our new intro with the best game I've seen from the Leafs in years. Wonderful.
A long time. It's just the style of play. Like again, have they had good games in the past? Yes, the last couple of years for sure. But it's the style of play. It's just more satisfying to watch. It's like the Leafs of old, like when I was growing up, for example, and a lot of teams that people hold fondly in their hearts. So I love that. And the scrum at the end of the game, like, they're not taking any crap. I love it. Like, McCabe's mixing it up, right? Tavares was in there. Tavares notably never ever does that, and he was kind of in the mix there, so I love that. Ekman Larson, again, kind of a borderline penalty, not borderline penalty, it was a penalty, but I mean a borderline dirty play. But he's not afraid to mix it up as well. Like, he has a mean streak now as well. Like, everyone's kind of starting to click a little bit. And like you mentioned, I was at the game against New York. They didn't play a bad game. Yes, they could have played better and they could have, I think they could have won that game, but they didn't really play bad. In every single game this year, I can't really point to something besides the power play or the special teams that has really been a weakness, right? That they really have looked so horrible in. There's really nothing to me. I mean, they've looked pretty solid and they're getting used to this new style. And tonight, for example, against a pretty good team, and I talked about it in the video this morning, this is a team coming into tonight, you're chasing. It's early in the season where you're chasing Atlantic Division. You're playing Boston on Saturday. You want to get these points. So not only did they get the points, but they beat them up. They beat them up on the scoreboard and they beat them up a little bit. So love to see that. Domi got in a fight as well. And it I love it when Domi mixes it up. So that was a good game. It was a great game.
Hit the like button if you enjoyed the game. Let's get to 50 likes. I mean, we all enjoyed it. What was the deal with the last goal? Hand pass, I think, or something like
that. Hand pass definitely wasn't a hand pass.
No,
and I guess they can't.
Pontus, which Pontus Holberg did get back in there. Man, but you're looking at everything, and again, the Stolarz has yet to have even a remotely bad game. What's up, Paul Taylor? Hope you're doing well. Luigi missed the game tonight. How was Willie? 2 goals and an assist. Phenomenal game for William Nylander. Everybody bounced back here, and again, it kind of is a testament to they're playing a tougher style of hockey, and it's evident. We knew that was going to be the case coming in with Craig Berube, but man, is it ever clear. And in case you did miss the game, here is the box score. We had Domi on the board. Matthew Nyes is looking so good, and as he continues, like we've been saying, as he continues to learn how to use his body, he's going to be an absolute, I mean, he's kind of turning into one now, but he's going to be an absolute animal. Marner, a couple of assists as well. Matthews is starting to get hot on the goal scoring back-to-back games now. Nylander, Pacioretty got on the board after coming in. He played a solid game, only 11 minutes. That's what he's going to be doing. Who knows if he gets in there tomorrow, second night of a back-to-back. And I mean, the real story of the game here, I mean, there's a bunch of different stories. Anthony Stolarz got to be one of them. Jim Cavers with the $10. Thank you so much, Jim. Let me get the super chat for you. Complete game while playing tough, grinding style. Nyes and McMahon beast mode. Jim, thank you so much for the 10. And you're exactly right. McMahon played very well. Matthew Nyes was one of the, I mean, we'll have our 3 stars at the end of the stream, the 3 stars of the night. And it's going to be a very tough day to pick 3 stars. But Matthew Nyes played unbelievable. He's had a great season so far, quite frankly. He's playing really, really well on both sides. Even Marner had a couple of assists again. And it's all making some sense now. And again, the biggest thing for me is how they were going to respond to the New York Rangers loss, because there's no time. They had a lot of days off in between that, before the New York Rangers game, and now it's go, go, go. Today, tomorrow, bunch of more games. I think they have another one Thursday or Friday. There's just a lot of games that are happening, and they had to start off this right. They're now 4-2, which is very respectable in this Atlantic division. They now are tied, I believe, with the Tampa Bay Lightning, or maybe be ahead of them now. I think
they jumped ahead tonight.
Yeah, they're 4-2. They jump ahead of the Lightning. I'm so fired up. Just a much needed win this early, and I think the coaching is making a huge difference on just the mentality of the players and just not taking things lightly. Like, they're playing playoff style hockey, and we're only 6 games into the year. You got to be excited. Thank you so much, Jim, for the donation. I really appreciate it. And we'll dive into the lines that were impressive as well, but that second line is here to stay.
The biggest sign for me tonight was when I was watching the third period, because I was like, okay, in years past, we see that they kind of fall asleep and other teams start to come back, and either they complete the comeback or maybe they get really close and makes everyone nervous. And the goaltending's not there. What I saw tonight is, what's going on, John? What I saw tonight is foot on the gas the entire time. They kept pushing the whole third period. That is different to me. That's a change in mentality. And that's what I was worried about coming into the season. Would we see that change? And we're seeing it right now, especially in this game, because we didn't see it against LA last week and it almost became a problem. He called the timeout, and there's been, so much made of that over the last week. And I think that the team listened, right? Like, they bought in tonight. Like, you could see the difference tonight. And obviously Stolarz helps. Stolarz is fantastic. I mean, Nick, you were so right about that. Like, we got to give you your flowers
for this one. This is the one.
We're giving you credit on that.
It's a good game for my predictions. So Patches got on the board too.
Patches scored like a little bit of a, you know what? It's a lucky goal, but he's making it happen. He's putting the puck to the net, right? So, like, these are the things that they have to continue to do. And the power play looked a lot better tonight too, right? Like, that's something that we don't really have to touch on tonight because it looked better. So that's encouraging, right? The entries were similar, but they worked tonight. So whatever, it's fine for tonight, but very similar entries. But lots of like. Stolarz was great. And I love the way that they play now this year and tonight. Like, just they kept pushing, because you don't give Tampa any chance to win. I think that's another thing that was lost tonight too. I love it when the Leafs beat teams like Boston and Tampa and Florida, right? These teams that you have beaten you in the playoffs or you've had playoff series against. Like, you want to come out and play really well in these games, right? So I'm glad that they were able to do that tonight. It was a complete game. And the game was also on Amazon Prime. I don't know if we should touch on that too, but a little bit of different presentation. I'm sure a lot of people couldn't actually watch the game tonight, but it was great.
It was very good. Yeah, the Amazon Prime games, I'm not a huge fan of them, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Only a few of them throughout the year, but it's going to be hard to pick out some negatives in this game. We'll get not the negatives necessarily, points of of effort here and points of working. Leafs Dodgers the best Dodgers. Thank you, Blake. Appreciate it. Ultimately, when you're looking at there's a couple of guys I want to dive into as well. Huge shout out again. I mean, another storyline that was kind of lost in all of this was the fact, because we covered it in yesterday's video, was that Timothy Liljegren was taken out for Connor Timmins, and Connor Timmins was the only defenseman tonight that got on the board. He got an assist. He was a +1. He looked solid out there as well. The defense really held it down, and obviously Stolarz, I mean, he carried the defense a little bit, but they're kind of working, hand in hand here. OEL with another great game, logging the most minutes than any defenseman. Great to see Chris Tanev back in there after getting obviously hit in the ankle. Just a ton of things that are going great for the Maple Leafs. And I mean, Stolarz, we can touch on him for a minute. 32 saves on 34 shots against not the same Tampa Bay Lightning team we saw last year, or even just like a few years ago when they were obviously perennial cup contenders. But what a game from Anthony Stolarz. You can see it in the thumbnail, the great save he had, the standing ovation, everything. He is that guy. Jim with another $10. Darius, you were spot on. This is a winning formula that takes time for everyone to buy in. They're getting on the board. Atlantic Division champs, count on it. I predicted Eastern Conference champs, and I'm going to ride with that wave. But Jim, your support is unbelievable. Thank you so much. And yeah, I was about to say the same thing. The winning formula here, it's going to take some time, and there's going to be some growing pains. And you could argue that there were some growing pains against the Rangers, even though the Leafs got Shesterkin'd, basically, is the best way to put it. But you come out and you see a game tonight where there's good defense, good goaltending, good fans in attendance, and some scrappy, tough play. Like, it's the most fired up I've been about a game in a very long time. And not just because of the win, a win's a win, but the process behind the win are significant steps towards what it takes to win in playoff hockey. Too early to talk about playoffs, but boy, was this a good game from top to bottom. And I'm just hyped. I'm very excited. Everybody looked good tonight, aside from a couple guys, but even the guys who didn't look good managed to, have some positive contributions.
Yeah, there's only a couple of things like through the season so far that have been problems, like we mentioned, like the power play, right? There's only been a couple of problems, and I think the reason everyone's so excited right now is because they had a dominant win tonight, continuing to do the things that they are doing, but only getting better at it. So I think people should be excited, right? And a lot of the hate has quieted down because I think people are realizing maybe the Leafs are a little bit different. It's going to take a little bit more time for some buy-in as well. But I've been very vocal on previous streams and during the summer. The reason the Leafs do not score in the playoffs when it matters is not because of the personnel on the third line and the fourth line. It's the style of play their style of play. It's their style of play. And it looks like it's changing slowly game by game here. And it's a process. It's going to take time, but it looks like it's slowly changing. There was a power play tonight that looked dangerous, right? Like you could say it looked dangerous, but it wasn't really dangerous because you had all four guys around the perimeter. So yeah, they were getting a lot of shots, but stuff like that has to change still. So there's a little habits in their game still that have to change, but you can see them changing right now through each game. So I think that's a positive. And I think a lot of people are, on board and happy about these wins for that reason, because the small things are, the little habits, you can see them kind of changing. But that power play I didn't like personally, and these are the small things. It was a big win, right? But moving forward, I'm sure Berube is going to nip those things in the bud, and it'll be good moving forward. But lots to like from this game. Lots to like. Like we kept touching on Stolarz. I mean, the Benois thing, he scored in his own net. Like it was unfortunate. He's trying to make a play there. That's it's a freak accident, right? So can't really blame him there, but not too many negatives really. In Tampa Bay, they're going to score some goals. They made some big plays, but Stolarz came up big when they needed him, and that's exactly what the Leafs, in terms of goaltending, they haven't had that in a few years. So I think, he looks steady back there. He's won the net, even with Woll presumably coming back tomorrow. That's another storyline we can get into, but he's won the net here, and the team is playing really well and with a lot of confidence in front of him for the first time in a long time, I think, in that way at least.
Yeah, and physicality was obviously one of the biggest things. The goal, like realistically, the winning formula for the Leafs so far has been the goaltending, the defense, and I mean that's really the main two, and of course the physicality. They have the talent to win all these games. I see no quit this year. They're getting there. I mean, I feel like it's the first time in a very long time that Leafs fans are kind of actually seeing progression from year to year. Obviously, this is his first year as coach. Like, there was countless times that last year, the year before, they come into games like this, and maybe they maybe win, whether it's 5-4 or whatever it was, but you'd still think, okay, they barely won, and a win's a win. You still got to be happy with that. But the actual way that they played this game, it seems sustainable. And that's why I think a bunch of fans are
Mhm.
hype right now, including us. It seems like a sustainable way to win games and doesn't rely on your top guys always going out and scoring 5-6 goals a game. There's going to be games where they don't play very well, and now they have the depth to sustain that. And not only do they have the depth to sustain that, they actually have a very solid defensive core and a very solid goalie so far that can sustain when the guys, and tonight the top guys played very well, and that's going to happen even more. The more the physical you are, the more it drains the opposing team. Then it just, all these things compile into what was tonight's game against a very good team. Absolutely, the only word I can use here is like just dominant. I think that's the best word. Wasn't really close for a second, and like even at the start of the game, you can see the tempo shifted just at the start, the end of the first period, and then they just from there it was wraps. But it's still good on Anthony Stolarz to hold it down, because we've seen games last year with Ilya Samsonov specifically, but not just to harp on him, a lot of goalies where, I mean, the Lightning were getting some shots on goal. They got 34 shots, and a lot of them were good chances. But shutting the door when there's a momentum shift is the difference between winning and letting them back in these games. And that's what Anthony Stolarz has been good at for me, and that's what we've been talking about, it just helping reduce the big sways in momentum. That's what they've been doing.
Yeah, and sometimes you need your goalie to be the best player on the ice, right? Maybe next game that Stolarz gets into, he's not. Maybe he faces 23 shots, right? But when he was called upon tonight, he was really good, and that's exactly why they got him. And if Wall comes back and he gets into form, and I'm not saying he's going to take over the starting goaltender position. I wanted to get into this too before the game too, because he kind of got what was coming to him with that. But this kind of plays into, now that you brought this up, I want to talk about this. This plays into the Amazon Prime thing too, and I wanted to touch on that the game was on Prime Video tonight, and they let you watch the entire warm-up with no commentary. I thought that was really cool. It's different than Sportsnet or even TSN's presentation. Not saying that either of those are bad, but it was just different, something cool for the fans to experience. I also felt like at times it was presented a little bit too much as if you're watching hockey for the first time in certain areas, which was, I don't know, for me, not for me, but yeah, but it was cool. You got to watch the entire warm up, and Vasilevsky snowed Riley, and he had something to say to him after. And then obviously they put up a couple goals on him, which was nice. But yeah, the presentation was interesting, very different. I thought it was something fresh. Obviously, not everybody could watch it, but they have another one coming up next Monday already against the undefeated Winnipeg Jets. So that's going to be fun to watch as well. That's going to be a crazy. They have not only a busy schedule, they're playing some crazy teams. Yeah, and it's going to be Saturday's going to be a huge test too against Boston. But how do they handle the rest of the week too? You got tomorrow night, it's a back-to-back, right? Wall might be back. There's a pretty big storyline there.
We can dive into that now. I think it's a decent
go
time.
ahead.
We're in chats about it. I mean, like, you look at this week, and I don't have the schedule quite yet. I don't know if we might have a screenshot. Anyways, they play a lot of good teams. Now, tomorrow I don't even want to say they get an easier game, because you really don't know. It's the second night of a back-to-back. The Columbus Blue Jackets, it's hockey. They're professional NHL teams. They need to play well. The question now is, and I want to ask the chat, just type yes or no. Do you think that Joseph Wall gets the nod tomorrow? I don't know if Berube had anything to say about it after the game. We're probably going to get some information on it tomorrow morning. We're going to have some information. Of course, I'll have a video for you covering the latest regarding that. We'll get it out as soon as it comes up. But I'm thinking Wall probably plays tomorrow. I don't know if there's a world where they play Stolarz in the second night of back-to-back. He had a busy night tonight, but he's playing so well. Maybe there's a case for that. But I think with how busy the Leafs are the rest of the week, specifically against some very good teams, including the Boston Bruins on Saturday, I think it's the time now where they put Joseph Wall in, give Anthony Stolarz a rest, maybe Dennis Hill to be. But I think it might be time for Joseph Wall to come in, and we'll know tomorrow depending on how everything goes. But I mean, the Bruins Saturday, the Columbus Blue Jackets obviously tomorrow, and you have the Winnipeg Jets like a week from, I guess today, it's past midnight rhyme. So a week from today, you have the Winnipeg Jets, and you mentioned it. They need to go, in your mind, you said around 3-1. They can't split the 4 games. They need to go 3-1. It's a great start. It is as good of a start as we could have expected, and it's just sustainable. It's just sustainable hockey to me, and that's the biggest difference here. And for the first time in a very long time, I feel completely safe when the Leafs have a lead in the third period with the way their defense and their goaltending is right now. I just feel completely safe. Obviously, there's still the hint of classic Leafs hockey, but I'm feeling like the Leafs, when they have a lead, that they're able to sustain that lead. And I wonder what the stat is about them giving up leads this year and losing games where they had to lead. I don't know the exact stat, but I don't think they've done that very much.
I don't think they've
I don't think they've done it at all.
I don't think they had, in the 2 games that they've lost, they didn't have a lead.
We have a Jose donation. Yep. Again, this is the way the Leafs play always. Jose, thank you so much for your support with the 20. You're one of our biggest supporters. Thank you so much for that one. This is the way the Leafs play always. If they play like this always, we already know they're one of the best teams in the NHL, but the question mark has always been the playoffs. And again, it's too early to talk about the playoffs, but we can definitely talk about the process. And that is what we're seeing in front of us right now is crazy, and it's getting me super, super excited.
So interesting on the Joseph. This is where my head's at with all this because they haven't confirmed him for tomorrow. I think it's Hildeby tomorrow because playing Stolarz in a busy week like this on the second half of a back-to-back is a terrible idea, and Columbus is not a very good team. So I think it's Hildeby tomorrow. I could be wrong. It could be Wool, right? But the reason I think it's Hildeby is the longer Hildeby doesn't play and isn't with the Marlies, the worse it is for his development. Why is he sitting on the bench, right? And he's only up because of everything with the salary cap and the fact that they have to make a move, right? So the longer he's sitting, the worse it is. So I think he plays tomorrow, and I think you give Joseph Wool, who will be ready on Thursday, to his hometown team, the St. Louis Blues, and it's a pretty big game because St. Louis, Berube, yeah, used to coach them. You want to win that game. And the reason I'm saying this is you absolutely need Stolarz and net on Saturday against the Bruins in Boston. Like, nobody else can start besides Stolarz on Saturday night because it's a huge game. The Leafs also have to be prepared for that they're not overly hype or amped for that game, take too many penalties and stuff like that. But you have to come in, you have to beat Boston on Saturday. You have to make a statement on Saturday night. So you need Stolarz and net there. And then you play a pretty good team in the Winnipeg Jets on Monday as well. So maybe you give Wool that, but that's my thought process on it. It sounds like Wool isn't 100%. If they're not able to say it today, it could change tomorrow. You could play tomorrow, but at the same time, I don't know. It could be Hildeby. The longer Hildeby's sitting, the worse it is, I think, to me. But I don't know what everyone else thinks about that. I
wouldn't mind seeing Hildeby just get another start, quite frankly, honestly. I mean, he's prepared. He's been with the team. Also, smash that like button if you enjoyed the way the Leafs played tonight. We had some support on tonight's stream. I'm taking on the hat. I'm putting the hat on. I am putting the hat on.
Bring it out. We also got to do our 3 stars.
It's been a little bit. The hat is coming on, everybody.
There it is.
All right. This is the Leafs Digest hat. Darius, it's back.
Yep. We also have to do our 3 stars of the game as well.
We will.
Yep. Yeah. But the hat is back. Hasn't been. When was the last time you wore it? I guess
game
second
2.
Of the year?
Would have been game 2. It hasn't
first
been
win
out
of the
game
year.
2.
Yep.
Let's go. He looks good. Give him one more. I would love to see Hildeby get one more. I mean, he ultimately had a great game, and he's actually up with the team. And again, just let's see it. But at the same time, it is an easy game to ease Joseph Woll back. So I can see it from both sides. And we'll get some more clarity on that tomorrow. And that's going to be the huge storyline of tomorrow. You should sell those hats. Would there be interest in these custom Leafs Digest hats? I have my glasses as well for the third star of the game there. Need a hat for Darius? Darius, I can make you one.
We can certainly get these going. Yes,
we can get matching hats.
Yes, that's right. I also have the cowboy hat. I know a lot of people weren't around for the playoff run and weren't subscribed at the time, but we have a cowboy hat. I might only pull it out for playoffs, though. I feel like that's a playoff thing. So maybe we can get the top hat going for wins. I think
I'll get a new hat as well for the playoffs. Yeah. Hopefully they make it there. What is that? This is the Leafs Digest certified hat. We bring it out for big wins, and today was, it was the biggest win that of the season so far. Maybe a cowboy hat. He has one. He does have one.
I do have one. Maybe I should pull it out next win. I might pull it out next win it could be tomorrow night. We'll be live tomorrow night, so it could be tomorrow night.
Do you guys know each other in person? Yeah, we do. We live in different parts, but we've yeah we do. We do. Blake, Darius needs a beanie. Yeah, We'll get into the 3 stars here in a minute. I just want to touch on some of the other things we had today. So with this 371st career goal tonight, Matthews has tied Alex Ovechkin on the all-time list. Matthews obviously did it in significantly less games, and Stoli the goalie. And I'm just going to keep riding out my prediction because, quite frankly, I'm happy. I knew that Anthony Stolarz, again, coming into the season, he had the best peripherals out of any goalie in the NHL. It was just a matter of if he could sustain it over time, and that's still yet to be seen, but he's looking like an absolute beast out there, and boy, has he run away with the first spot there. He's the 1A goalie. There's no doubt in my mind about it.
No, he's been fantastic. There's nothing else we can say. We've talked about it leading up to the season and preseason. So far this season, he is fantastic. He is the Leaf starter right now and for the foreseeable future. Woll really has to battle back here and have some great performances to win the snapback because it's Stolarz. The performance, not only tonight, the whole season so far, he's been fantastic. And Hildeby's only played 1 game. So he's getting, the workload is there. He's going to play more games than he ever has this year for sure. So, but he's been playing great. So I'm really happy about that. It's good.
Robert with the 5. Your guys' support has been unbelievable. I just want to give a quick shout out to everybody in here, just even watching, hitting the subscribe button, hitting the like button. I think last year and previous years when having a big lead, they didn't play and try to run the clock. This year, Berube, it lets Hunt. But yeah, he basically, and Darius, you texted me this off camera, they were pressing up 5-1, and they continued to press all the way through the game, and it's a part of the change. It's just a part of the change. Again, not blowing leads, not even like they're bending. They're not even really bending so far throughout the season when they've had the lead. But bending, but not breaking is the key here. And again, the 2 losses they had, first game, some rust under Craig Berube. Again, they got Montebaut. Both losses were, I don't want to make excuses because they definitely should have won. They could have won, but great goaltending performances, and that's going to happen in the NHL, and that's why these goaltenders are getting paid a lot of money now with all these different ones. But getting Vasilevsky out there after letting up 4 goals very early on 14 shots is you love to see it if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs. They were just buzzing completely and really letting it go.
All night. They were playing really well. And I mean, we didn't even touch on Matthew. Austin Matthews was an afterthought in this game, which is crazy. He scored, but we're not even talking about him. But that's the type of stuff we're talking about. You're getting scoring from not only your depth, but just the style of play, right? And I think that's what they have to move towards. So really encouraging signs. And yeah, I mean, they've been playing fantastic. I love the style of play. Just to clear up, because I see a couple of comments too about the 6th goal or the empty netter that didn't count. The ref called it a hand pass. It clearly wasn't, as you can see on the replay. That's Lorentz played it with his stick over to Holberg, who put it in the net. And you can't challenge that, because I'm sure Berube would have challenged it. You literally cannot challenge that play. So it should have been 6-2, but unfortunately, I guess they didn't see him play the puck with his sticks. Just to clear that up. Unfortunate play. And I'm rooting for Holberg. I love Holberg as a player. Obviously, we had a video yesterday, if people saw, about, Berube kind of called him out, and he hasn't been having that great of games lately. He's not an AHL player. He's an NHL player, just has to find his game. He has to get remotivated. And sometimes the coach has to do stuff like that, call out players. So I think he's going to be fine, because he has a lot of use, and he's a great player. Very smart hockey player too. If you watch him, especially, watching him live sometimes, didn't have the greatest game on Saturday, but he is a very smart hockey player, and he's going to be a big part of this team. So let's not give up on guys too early in the season. Everyone's finding it, but you do want to see him find his game. It would have been nice if you got that empty netter though, but
Definitely.
That's the game.
We're at 57 likes. We get to 70 before we wrap up. But it's time now for the 3 stars of the night. It's getting kind of late. This game went on a very long time given all the goals. But yeah. Darius, 3 stars of the night. Everybody leave in the chat your 3 stars. Who impressed you? And yeah, Darius, let's start with your 3rd star here tonight.
This is a tough 3 stars for me, because a lot of guys were engaged tonight, which I like to see. Like, yeah, Domi fighting, just a couple honorable mentions, right? Like McCabe, OEL's logging a lot of minutes and being physical as well. So lots to like. But my 3rd star tonight is going to be William Nylander. 2 goals on the night. He got it started. A perfect shot on his 2nd goal too. So gets the scoring goal going early and often, and lots to like from his game again tonight. He's been great.
Have the same 3 stars. I have my 3 stars already made up. I'm giving Willie the 3rd star of the night tonight. Just a very dominant game from him. He could easily be the 2nd star or even the 1st star, but yeah, I mean, you kind of covered everything there. Honorable mention to Max Pacioretty for getting a goal, and I'm on the Pacioretty.
That's train. Fair, yeah.
I'm going to give it to Nylander, though, for the 3rd star.
Yeah, 2nd star for me will be Matthew Knies. Okay. Just his game was...
Same.
Unreal. Like, his game was unreal. He had that 1 goal, which was great. He should have had 2 goals. The way he was using his body and creating plays tonight specifically, like he's looked good all season, but tonight he was really noticeable. So 2nd star for me for sure.
Same with me. Exact same as Robert comes in with a buzzer beater kind of donation here. He says, I asked someone but didn't give me an answer. Does Simon Benois get a plus or minus for the goal? Definitely minus.
Definitely minus.
That's the way it goes. Unfortunate at times. I mean, I honestly would rather him try to make a play and like keep working on making plays, like not necessarily scoring your own net, but trying to make plays. My 2nd star, thank you so much again, Robert. Your support's been unbelievable here. I mean, it's also my 2nd star is also Matthew Knies. So yeah, we're riding the same wave here today, and I'll go with my number 1 star first. That way you can't copy me. And it is
well, we got the same one.
It's Anthony Stolarz. Not even a question about it. The best player on the ice tonight. Honorable mention to Austin Matthews. Honorable mention to OEL. Another dominant defensive game.
No.
I mean, quite frankly, just a great game from Anthony Stolarz. Was the best player on the ice, whether it's position player or a goaltender.
He was the best player on the ice, like you said, goaltender or player for both teams. He was the best player on the ice tonight. So Anthony Stolarz is my number 1 star for sure. But like you said, OEL had a great game again.
The first time we've agreed on these 3 stars.
I know, which is interesting. So yeah, we haven't yet this season, but we've been close. It's just kind of, renumbering certain guys, but lots of like tonight. And yeah,
thank you again, Robert, for the 5. I'm just going to throw up a donation. Thank you, Anthony. Yeah. You've been crushing it.
We got to talk about Benois for a second here, Nick.
The train will come back. The train will come back. I will get it back. We're going to make new ones.
Be back. Yeah, we're going to have to make a new one, but we've been on the Benois train since day 1. We've been on the Benois train. Tonight, he has an unfortunate moment. Scores on his own
Bit
net.
of a slow start for him this season. Bit of a
Bit of a slow start. He looks not great with the puck. Like,
I think he
not
looks
great.
worse because of how good the blue line is now in
That's the
relative.
thing.
Because I mean, last year we were talking about Labushkin, Joel Edmondson, and some other guys. So now,
I think-
obviously, you know,
Yeah, like that's a great point because now Chris Tanev's come in and you don't notice him because he just does his job so well. And last year it was like, oh wow, this guy can separate guys from the puck. That's fantastic. So we've been on the Benois train for a long time, but yeah, I think it's a little bit more noticeable this year because you have some other guys who are a little bit better. The blue line probably looks a little bit better this year, but yeah, he gets a minus tonight, but he gets a plus in my book for being a solid defenseman.
Jim with the donation again. You guys are absolutely crushing it. This has been one of the better streams. Any extra $5 having pack win in the channel wallpaper. Jim,
I love
shout
it.
out to you. Yeah, I mean the channel wallpaper. It has a lot of Easter eggs in there.
There's a lot of
so
Easter
if you watch
eggs
the
in there.
videos, you watch the streams. Again, you can kind of see a bunch of different guys back there. There's a lot of Easter eggs in there. We're doing a lot of different things. And one final thing before we do wrap up.
Yep.
Is there a specific, and all you guys are in here again, it's a bit late, but shout out to every single 150 of you that are in here. And we will be going live. I don't think I'm going to be there, but Darius will hold it down for you guys in tomorrow's stream. I'm doing Halloween stuff with my girlfriend, so I'll take the L on that one. But what animation, Darius, I'll ask you as well. What player do you think deserves an animation for our post games? Because we're going to get those crafted. We have a Benois one. We kind of have a Matthews one with the stream starting soon. I have an idea. I think, who do you guys want to see as an animation idea for a player who plays good? I think at this point, Anthony Stolarz probably needs his own animation as well as an emote for all the channel members who are out there. We're going to get all that going. But I think Stolarz and maybe Matthew Nyes are my two here. But I think Stolarz is the one for me.
I think out of, like, if you guys have been around for a long time watching our streams, like you've seen some of the animations, like the Matthews one and the Benoit train, which we've been on since the start, at the very beginning. You know, I think the only people missing at this point, like if we're going to add a couple, would probably be Stolarz and Nyes. They've been huge this season. And maybe you have, you know, we could do some fun stuff with the Chris Tanev one.
Use Stolarz every game this year.
We could use Stolarz. You might be seeing a lot of Stolarz. So I think Stolarz for sure. But yeah, there's a lot, like even Bobby McMahon. I mean, there's a couple defensemen. OEL probably deserves one. So that's we could do some fun stuff.
That's funny. Stolarz and McMahon, Nyes, have a good night. Nick and Darius, Marshall, thank you guys, or thank you so much for tuning in there. Nyes hitting the last game animation. That's actually a good point.
That's a great idea.
That is a good idea. I think like a Stolarz.
Got to see that live.
Yeah, you did.
It was pretty
cool.
cool.
A Stolarz one would be good. Everyone have a good night. Bobby McMahon, a lot of Bobby McMahon. Shane with a Bobby McMatthews. I don't hate that. I don't hate that one. We're gonna have a ton of them coming in though. This is our year. Tanev blocking shots. Yeah, there's so many we could do. And there was a lot of different things. If you guys were here for the stream intro, again, this was the stream we debuted our custom Leafs Digest song with the intro that, if you guys didn't watch that, once the stream ends, go back and rewind to the start because it fires me up. It makes me want to run through a wall, especially what a game to debut it. We're going to debut it tonight anyways, assuming they won. Probably debut it even if they lose. I'm kind of still up in the air on that, but it was a masterclass, Darius. And we also have one for an outro. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, no, it was a great game. So I'm glad they won. I mean, there was a lot riding on this game, I think, even though it was early in the season. So I'm glad they won. And
Berube Angry is a great one too. We got to write some of these down. We're gonna have a ton of them.
We have some ideas.
We're gonna be going live after, especially with all the support you guys have been giving us. I mean, we gotta go live. As I could have probably streamed after the last game. The schedules were
schedule was a little. I mean, I was still at the game well after it ended because it's very hard to get out of that arena. So
we're not singing, Paul. Yeah. It's not us singing.
We are not. No,
it fires us up. It is a hype song. I sing it. I sing it every day. It's a catchy.
That's right. Very catchy. If you didn't catch it, go back and watch it after the stream.
What's up, Mark Sherry? Howdy. We're on the back end of the stream now. Where it's really late where I am. It's getting very late. What a late game for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, like I want. Now that you bring that up, it's at a 7:30 start, which normally 7:30 starts mean like 7:39 or something like that. But tonight, warm up ended at 7:30. I was like, what is happening here? Because they let you watch the whole warm up, like I mentioned on Prime Video. But thanks you for tuning in, Landshark. Yep, thank you. Hope to see you in the next stream
tomorrow. Darius will be there. Might be a solo, Darius. You might have.
Could be a solo. You might have a solo coming up as well. I will not be here Saturday, unfortunately, but I should be.
Playing the Bruins Saturday. I will. I'll do my best.
We have some fun stuff planned, though. I want to tease that we do have some fun stuff planned in the future with some Bruin stuff whenever the Leafs play the Bruins.
No problem, Mark. Jim, love the channel, boys. See you tomorrow night, Darius. You are a real one. Girlfriend duty. Yeah, that's the thing. I forgot they had a back-to-back. I mean, I knew they had a back-to-back game, but pumpkins have to be carved. But thanks, Jim, for the for the support tonight. And hopefully I'll be there tomorrow. I'm gonna try to. I'll try to, depending how long the game is. Is it a 7:30?
I believe it's a 7 o'clock.
It's even worse.
I believe.
But I will forward Darius a voice note or something to get my opinions on the game that he can play throughout the stream or something of that nature. So we'll get
Nick's opinion somehow. We'll get it on stream.
At 7:32 tomorrow, 7:30.
Yep.
They're in every game. So that's great. That is all. One final thing I want to mention as well. They're in every game. Like exactly what Paul said. Like there hasn't been a game even when they lost 4-1 to the Rangers. It was really a 2-1 loss. They've been in every single one, and then the opening night loss against the Habs. Would have liked to win that one, but no one weren't fully meshed yet. And boy, are they meshed now. They are looking absolutely phenomenal. And one final note we have to thank you so much, Mark. Your support on this stream has been incredible, absolutely incredible. Nick Robertson, quick note on him, Darius, before we wrap up.
I thought he looked fine again tonight.
Yeah,
I have no.
Truther. I think he looked fine. It was one of his better games. Still no points on the board, but I think it was one of his better games, which is, I don't know how much that says about how he's playing or just the system.
He could have. He just hasn't. He's playing on the third line, and he hasn't gotten going yet. He has to get going within these first 10 games. I do believe that, but I still believe in him. I still think he can score. And he almost scored tonight. It was a really awkward play. Nylander gave it over to him. It was very close. He almost scored, but again, zeros across the board. He's got to get going within the first 10 games, but I do believe he's going to find it. And I thought he played fine. He's playing fine. He's not making any egregious mistakes like he was last year. Even he's cleaned up his game a little bit. He's keeping it simple, which is what Berube wants, and he's being effective. And the team's winning. It's not about any one performance anymore. As long as he's in a winning effort.
Marquise with the $2. No message. Thank you so much, Marquise. Camp Robertson gone. Good chance that Lilligren is on his way out. Only guys working hard in the Leafs are you two. Thank you so much, Jim. We're doing our best. Again, if you're new here, I see a lot of new faces. We go live after every game, make a video every single day, sometimes twice a day. So it's the place to be if you want the latest Leafs news, and that's what we pride ourselves on. So if you want to be up to date with it, hit the subscribe button. And also, if you're starting to head out now, you're gonna want to stay tuned because we have the outro song for you. So if you missed the song in the intro, the outro check the intro out too. It had some cool editing. Shout out to Darius. But
it was pretty cool.
The outro here, also shout out to Darius for editing it, is it's a very, very cool song. Good night, Nick and Darius. Let know some trade rumors today. Thank you, Joshua. Have a good evening. Any final thoughts before we wrap up here? It was what an electric.
I think not sorry to cut you off there, but I thought this point by Paul was like bang on, that Berube will keep giving Robertson chances as long as he's not a liability. I think that goes for everybody. As long as you're playing okay and doing exactly what the coach wants and the team's winning, you're not going to come out of the lineup, right? But if you're actively not playing well, like Holberg did on Saturday, he got demoted tonight, but you're not going to get, taken out of the lineup if you're not playing, if you're not doing anything egregious. So Robertson's played fine. He's just not scoring. He needs to score, but he's playing fine. I think he's doing exactly what Berube wants. He's keeping it simple, and I like that. I think that's so fine. Too.
I mean, I'm not too worried yet. If you missed the game, here is the box score for you all, and everybody have a great night. It's a late one. It's almost it's about 11 o'clock. Nice stream, gentlemen.
Thank you.
We flipped the script, Colin. Thank you so much, everybody. It's been one of the most incredible streams we've had in a very long time. So thank you for tuning in and being a part of it. Again, we're live after every single game, videos every day. So if you want to see more Leafs content, we had a video earlier today. We'll have one tomorrow. The big storyline tomorrow is going to be Joseph Wall. So it's going to be another busy day tomorrow, and we will be live for it after the game. So make sure to tune into that. But again, if you want more Leafs content, video earlier today, video coming tomorrow. And that'll wrap it up. We're going to leave you now with our stream outro, another new thing we got invented. And when we put the stream outro up, we're obviously going to end the stream after it ends. Leave in the chat. We'll still be here reading it, what your thoughts are on the outro. So we're going to play it now. Have a great evening, everybody. But leave in the chat what your thoughts are on the song, the custom Leafs Digest song. Makes you want to run through a wall. Let me know. Stay and let me know in the chat. I'm going to be reading it. We're both going to be here reading it. Yeah. But have a phenomenal night, everybody. And stay safe and all that good stuff. And we will see you in tomorrow's stream. Darius, say goodbye. And we'll see you guys in tomorrow's stream. I'll try not to end it mid-outro. First time doing it. We'll see, though. But let us know right now in the comments what your thoughts are on the new song and outro. Makes you want to run through a wall. Have a good night. We'll see you guys soon.
Digest your daily dose of gold. where legends untold, from first pop drop to the season's fall. Tune in and watch the drama unfold.